So hey, I'm just a couple blocks from my house in the historic part of St. Augustine that we refer to as Uptown. Not old city that's all touristy, but in a lovely place where most of the homes were built in the 1800s, and code requires that they be maintained at that level. Anyway, here I am at the nonsensical Fountain of Youth with the stupendous coquina pillars. I have my dowsing rod with me today. My task today, let's stop and look at the coquina because oyster shells are amazing. Actually, you know what? I don't think this is actual coquina. I've never looked this closely. I don't think this is actual coquina. I think this was built however it was built, and then what they did is they came in and they put the concrete up there and they pressed the shells into it. That's fascinating because that's not what coquina looks like. Anyhow, what I'm doing today with my dowsing rod is trying to find one of the lines from the aquifer that does pump water from the ground into the Fountain of Youth. Yes, it does. If you are foolish enough to pay $20 and go into that horrible place, you will see where the aquifer is pumping water into the Fountain of Youth. The infamous Castillo San Marcos, the star fort that is built out of real coquina here in the old town portion, is not too far from here. Probably a 5-minute walk right off of that main noisy street, which is called San Marco. And as in all of the other ancient power cells across the planet, star forts around the globe, but all the way back to the pyramids. There was either water around the fort and or a body of water underneath the fort. Sometimes both. There is evidence that the pyramid complex at Giza did have water around it back in the day. If you think of all the star forts, they had moats, except they weren't really moats. They might have been used that way when history started being written, but we know that's not what they were built for. Anyway, this is Florida, which is basically a peninsula of limestone from the Georgia border all the way down to the Keys and into the Bahamas. We are a peninsula of limestone. The state is full of springs and aquifers. So not only do we have the Matanzas River right next to Castillo San Marcos, and yes, they had a moat. It's been dry for centuries, but I'm going to try to see if I can find the aquifer line, because it is my belief that the aquifer here at the Fountain of Youth is the same aquifer or part of the chain that provided the water, the negative ions, negative electrons running underneath the Castillo San Marcos, which helped allow it to be the power generator it was. I'm not going in. I'm not paying $20 to go in. I've seen it. It's horrible. another story for another day. St. Augustine is built upon the bones of the tribe that was here when all these jerks arrived, the Timucua. And what you find all over St. Augustine and up into Jacksonville are preserves. Timucua Preserve, Timucua Natural Beach. Jesus. They wiped the people off the map, which no longer have the oral histories to speak of what really happened here. They conveniently did all that. But they claim reverence by using the archaeological angle. Ha, ha. Here's some shot into the Fountain of Youth. That's the observatory in there. That is coquina, real coquina in the walls. You know what, I say that, but let me take a closer look. Because I think it's, it might be original coquina, but it has definitely been enhanced with those shells. This is fascinating. See, I don't really come down to these revolting places very often because they're so commercial and fake. I said it was real coquina, but now I'm closer and it's not. The original walls may have been coquina, but this is not real coquina. This has completely been manufactured. Interesting. Anyway, I'm going to walk down here to the end of the property. See if I can get any readings. It's beautiful back here. This is not my street, but this is what it looks like where I live. I mean, I live 2-3 blocks away from here. This is what it looks like. Okay, and that column is really not coquina. Not a chance. So I suspect if you can see the blue through the trees there in the clearing, that's where the Matanzas River is. And I believe the aquifer is closer to the waterfront. But let me see if I can get a reading here. Can you show me yes? Can you show me no? Can you show me no? Thank you. Will I find any of the lines of the aquifer in this direction? That's a no. Okay, so I'm going to walk up some of the side streets where I can get closer to the water and see if I can find the channel.